Hey guys, this is Matthew Beck, and I had a really exciting opportunity to work on a project about accessibility. And what I've been working on is designing an emergency kit for people with ostomies. Ostomies can be very challenging to live with. In the past, people used to just give up and stay at home all the time. With advancements in technology, ostomies don't have to be a big lifestyle change anymore. But with everything that has improved, there's still a lot to be done. So I wanted to design a product that would help them maneuver through their everyday lives. When researching the topic that I wanted to cover, I wasn't sure what I wanted to explore. The project was just about designing something to make the world more accessible for people with disabilities. And it was recommended to choose a disability that was close to home. I started with celiac disease, which is a gastrointestinal autoimmune disorder, which I have. All I really need to know is this gluten-free? So I scrapped it. Next, I looked at bipolar disorder. Now, bipolar disorder is a mental illness which the person experiences alternating emotions of mania and depression. These can alternate within the span of a month to a couple times within an hour. Bipolar disorder is unique to everyone who experiences it, and there wasn't really anything I could design which would help them maneuver through their everyday lives. So then I moved on. Finally, I was talking to my mom, who is a nurse who specializes in wound care, ostomies, and continence. She recommended I look into ostomies, and I learned about the difficulties of living with the disability. And after doing some research and talking to different people, I chose to follow this topic. To explain, ostomy is a term that is used to describe a surgical procedure which results in a person requiring to use products to collect their bodily fluids or solids. You might know them in one of their various forms, which could be a colostomy, ileostomy, or urostomy. Colostomy is created when someone has an issue in their colon, bowel, or rectum. So when someone gets colon cancer, ulcerative colitis, or Crohn's disease, or something else within the general area, they need to get a colostomy. This means that a surgeon will cut into their belly, sever the part of the intestine that is still healthy from the part that is damaged, and they'll create an opening on the left side of their belly. Then they'll pull the intestine through the opening and sew everything shut. This creates a stoma in your belly, which is an opening for your stool to be expelled from. Now, an ileostomy is kind of the same idea, but they sever the small intestine from the large intestine, and they'd create a stoma on your right-hand side. The most significant difference between the two is that the small intestine is responsible for absorbing most of your nutrients, while your large intestine is responsible for absorbing water. So as a result, a colostomy would output more solid waste, while an ileostomy would output something that was a little bit more of a diarrhea consistency. An ileostomy will also output more frequently, so someone with a colostomy would only have to change out their bag as often as they would normally poop, while someone with an ileostomy would have to change out their bag more frequently, like within every couple hours. Now, urostomy is completely different, and it concerns more your urine. Basically, you're creating an exit for your urine whenever your bladder needs a break, can't be used anymore, or has bladder cancer. So with a urostomy, you would have to empty the bag as often as you would urinate in a day. I should also note some important terminology that will come up regularly in my presentation. The products used for an ostomy is a pouch and a flange. The pouch is a bag that catches and holds your output. The flange is a disc which adheres to your body, and these can come in 1 or 2-part systems. Now, people who live with an ostomy are often over the age of 60, although there are still plenty of children, teenagers, and adults with ostomies. But for this project, I'm mostly concerned about Canadian adults. All of these people will have to undergo life-changing events, from the diagnosis of their health problem, followed by the surgery and need to use ostomy products for either a long period of time or the rest of their lives. And most people will go through a depression, but over time, many of those people will go back to their day-to-day lives. Usually they have to invest in products which help them exercise, socialize, and travel. And a lot of the time, the products that they actually need don't really exist, so they have to make it up as they go along. After conducting interviews, something that came up quite often is that they didn't really have any kits that was designed to help them when they leave the house, even though it's quite common for ostomies to leak or malfunction. I found that the few items that were out there were just glorified toiletry bags that people could just stuff up with whatever they needed. Many people just take it upon themselves by using something like a fanny pack to use as their designated kit, or a lot of people that I talk to use just a Ziploc bag full of whatever they needed, and then they bring it with them everywhere. This reminded me of the design of the first aid kit. They are typically designed as an afterthought. and the user is left to fish through it whenever they're in an emergency. This can often affect a person's mood towards the kit because there isn't enough thought put into it. While conducting these interviews, I also took it upon myself to wear an ostomy pouch for a week. I learned a lot about wearing an ostomy and all the problems that come across with it. There's also something that I could never learn is that whenever people are wearing their pouch, they also have to worry about their stoma. And also the constant fear that if this leaks, they could get feces everywhere. And although it didn't happen often, my pouch did leak on occasion. I do want to note that after a couple of days, I did get more comfortable wearing it. So when designing this product, I wanted to make sure it was versatile, fashionable, organized, and simple. After coming to this conclusion, I started to look at products that fit a similar description. Since the first aid kit is the closest thing to my design, I found a couple of concepts for first aid kits that push the boundaries of what it can be. A couple of people have taken the time to design a user-friendly version of the first aid kit. One person even went as far as to design it in a way that you can use it just with one hand. Next, I thought about lunchboxes. I found a product on Kickstarter called Foldeat. It's a modular lunchbox that has containers inside that can either stack up to pack away or lay out neatly for whenever you eat your meal. It has many accessories like hot and cold packs that you can stack in between or magnetic utensils. The outer casing is a thin, light, insulated, machine washable placemat. Lastly, I also looked at various products by Cotopaxi. They have stunning backpacks, and I'm trying to design a product that is aimed towards hikers and travelers. I wanted to include an interesting color palette for this product, similar to what Cotopaxi has. I also have a mood board that illustrates some essential functions and characteristics that I was thinking about when trying to design this product. I looked for various inspirational packaging designs that perform similar tasks as my product, and other ideas that revolutionize the organization of product design. After doing all my research, I could finally start designing the product. I had various ideas of different forms that this product could take. Initially, I thought about various tools that could be included. For example, I had an idea for a tool that could clean out the pouch, but it wouldn't really be useful in an emergency situation. I was also thinking about garbage bins for emptying out your ostomy, but it needed to be compact. After these initial revelations, I started to really play with the form. I was picturing a kit that could fit in your backpack, satchel, or large purse, but this kit could also convert into a backpack, satchel, or purse as well. I tried to explore a variety of shapes, but none of them really hit what I was trying to achieve. I explored hexagons as a shape, and although hexagons could not be efficient for this product, it helped me get to where I wanted to go. I finally started to narrow down the dimensions of everything, including the size of the inner compartments. Once that was figured out, I could decide on a form for the outer shell, and if all the boxes were stopped up on top of each other, it would make the kit small but thick. Kind of an awkward form to fit in a backpack. One night when I was a little stumped, I tried thinking about taking inspiration from nature. An animal that looks like it's wearing a backpack is a turtle. I thought about how their shell kind of looks like little segments that could be removed. So what if on a backpack, on the back surface, there were clipping points around it to clip in different compartments? I knew this couldn't work, but it brought me to the idea of using existing infrastructure in the backpack, like the laptop pouch. Then it dawned on me, it could be in the shape of a laptop case. It would be about 4 centimeters thin, and when opened up, on the right-hand side would have a bunch of compartments, but then on the left-hand side, it would have informational material and different tools. With this design and size, someone could even remove a couple things and be able to fold the case in half to turn it a little bit smaller to fit in different bags. Now, before I get into more detail about the product, I just want to brush on the branding that I came up with. When thinking about how people may feel in emergency situations, I wanted this product to almost act as an anchor. People may feel stressed, scared, anxious, in pain, all kinds of different negative feelings. In these situations, it's important to have a neutral, positive tone and being able to guide people calmly without the distractions of playful imagery. Additionally, it should avoid coming off as strict or playful. I brainstormed a bunch of different names, and when collaborating with my colleagues and teacher, the name that stuck was OMY. And OMY was the last 3 letters of ostomy. It just kind of had a good ring to it. And for the font, I chose Azo Sans as the brand's logo font. I also use Arial for the body text, just so everything's in unison. I also explored various color palettes, and chose this kind of sunset on a cloudy day palette. The neutral blue with the bright orange and pink kind of work against each other to create a neutral positive tone. So when I bring this all together, this is OMY, the Ostomy Emergency Kit. After I sorted through the layouts and measurements for this kit, I finally knew what it was going to be. The features include an outer casing with a zipper to close it. The casing will be made out of a flexible material. Not as flexible as cotton, but not as hard as cardstock. It's a little closer to what you might find on a backpack material. The case will be reversible, and each side will have the same features. One half will have straps for attaching the inner boxes, or could be used to attach accessories, additional OMY bags, or shoulder straps on the outside. The other half will have a pouch, a couple small straps, and a card holder. On the inside of the kit, the pouch will be used to hold the manual, the straps will be used to hold pens and markers, and the card holder will be used to hold a temperature detector to detect if the kit has gotten too hot or too cold. The temperature detector is very important because some of the ostomy products need to be replaced regularly, and these same products are also temperature sensitive. Each box is designed to switch it out whenever it gets too dirty or anything like that. They will be made from water-resistant wax-coated paper, but really anyone can make a new box at home and we will give them kind of the blueprints to do it. But if they also desire, they can also order in replacement materials if they need it. There is a box to hold the flange and pouch. There's also a compartment that holds pop-up boxes. To get into detail about these pop-up boxes, these boxes are meant to help with emptying the pouch. I sized them perfectly to hold the output by performing various tests. And the plan is to make these boxes out of the same material as milk cartons. And if you're worried if they'll leak, you can also line them in plastic bags. There are also a couple boxes to hold additional items, such as wet wipes, tissues, scissors, a mirror, and whatever paste, rings, or adhesive removers you may need. There's also a water bottle specifically designed to help with keeping the kit at a reasonable temperature. This water can be used to rinse yourself or your pouch. It can also be used as an emergency water supply. Additionally, there is a gap in the layout to fit in plastic bags. And then there's the handbook. The handbook itself will be designed with 4 sections. The first section is about emergency protocols. This section will help walk you through any emergency situation that we planned for. It will give you tips and tricks of things you can use in this kit. The section is sealed off when you first get it, so that you have to read section 2 first before you get into any sticky situations. The second section is what you should read first once you get this kit. It explains how to use the kit, what it's made of, and all the different things that it has to offer. After you read the second section, it will instruct you to rip the tab that seals the first section shut, and this allows you to then pack the handbook away in the pouch. The third section is very short and just has a calendar to help you keep track of when you last changed out your supplies, the last time you checked the kit, and the next time you should check the kit. It also has room for notes and emergency contacts, as well as a list of people to contact if you need help for new supplies or if you need an ostomy specialist around the world. It also has information about websites and apps you could use. The last section has additional supplies such as extra pop-up boxes, string, plastic bags, etc. An additional feature is that the pages in the handbook will be absorbent. So there is a tip in the book that recommends you ripping out the pages in case you need paper towel. The cover will be water resistant, and it can also be torn to be used as a funnel or whatever other material you may need. I would like to reiterate that this is not an overnight bag. It could be used as such if someone wanted to, but you're supposed to keep the supplies inside at a minimum. This is meant to be a kit that you would take with you if you were to go for a hike or a bike ride for a couple of hours, or maybe if you're to go sightseeing in a foreign city and you just didn't know where any of the bathrooms were. So yeah, that's about everything I've got. And due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I was planning on trying to make some kind of physical prototype, but maybe I'll carry on this project further on next year. But we'll see. But besides that, thanks for watching, and thank you for everyone who has gotten me here, including all my classmates, my instructor, my mom, and various ostomy company representatives and ostomates. Goodbye and have a great summer.